I love the general session, the subject, the regulative principle of worship and the confessions of faith. But I think I'm most passionate about the first one, is there a regulative principle? Because I believe the regulative principle, historically understood, means that God regulates worship in a way that is different than the way he regulates the rest of life. And there are those out there in our day, even in reform circles, who are asserting that actually the regulative principle applies to all of life the same. To which I respond, if the regulative principle applies to everything, it applies to nothing. And so that's the reason for the question, is there a regulative principle? In that session, I want to prove that since the church has a distinct relationship to God, different than all other human institutions, even though they're divinely ordained, the church is, in the language of the Nicene Creed, a holy church. That is to say, somehow set apart to God in the way that the rest of human life and rest of human institutions are not, that therefore God takes an interest in the regulation of the church that is different than the kind of regulation he exercises over the rest of human life. And so I'm going to go to 1 Timothy 3:15 and show that the distinct identity of the church emphasized there in Paul's descriptions, which are that the church is the house of God, the church of the living God, the pillar and support of the truth, is why Paul says in that context, I'm writing that you might know how you ought to conduct yourself in this house of God, because there is a special conduct in the house of God required because it is God's holy church and related to him in a way that the rest of human life is not.